Hi there, this is Dani, and the channel's You and Me Living Free. Today we are in Lake Havasu. And so Lake Havasu is a great big lake. It's on the border between Arizona and California, for anybody who doesn't know. And for the first part of this story, I don't really have any pictures. I didn't really take much video, but I'm going to show you here because this is interesting. When you say Lake Havasu, people think of this big lake. If they're going there, they're probably talking about Lake Havasu City, which is then on the east side of the lake. It's a vast city. It is full of tourist attractions. It's full of great beaches down there. It has the harbor. It has basically everything. And then on the left side or the west side of the lake, that's where I actually started. And there's a lot of BLM land there. There's a lot of free camping. But it's an unincorporated kind of small town-ish kind of feel to it. So you can like get gas, but there's really not much there. We're talking about Havasu Lake unincorporated area. So we're starting on the west side. That's where I started because there was a caravan there that I was meeting up with. So I don't know if most of you are familiar with the We Camp Together Facebook group. It was started by Howa, by Bob Wells, that whole gang. And so these are some of the caravans that go around with those people. They started meeting up again now after, well, not after COVID, but since COVID is kind of more under control, they started having caravans again. I wanted to meet up with them. I was driving through the area anyway to get on my way home to Kansas City. And I thought, Lake Havasu is a great big lake. I love putting my feet in the sand. Let's go there with the caravan. I got there with the caravan, again, on the west side, the unincorporated area where there's a lot of BLM land. And there were a bunch of people from the caravan there, and I stayed one night. But here's the deal. When I'm going to a great big lake, I want to do more than just look at the lake from a few miles away and not have the experience of being on the lake. If you really want that experience, you kind of need to go to the Lake Havasu City part of it. So I was on the west side, but only for one day, and was quickly like, this is really not what I had in mind. So then I had to drive like the 2 hours around the bottom of the lake down to Parker, Arizona, and then up to Lake Havasu City, which is where I really wanted to go. But on the way to Lake Havasu City, I decided I wanted to stop and camp in there. And there was a great place called Cattail Cove, which is a state park and campground that I stopped at. And I'm going to show you my site there. Well, I guess before we get to the actual campsite, I'm going to show you me with my feet in the water, which is what I wanted this whole time anyway. There were little rocks, so I didn't want to go completely barefoot because I do have kind of tender feet. But I got my feet in the sand, got my feet in the water, and look at this glorious, clear, beautiful water. This is at the campground, and I'll show you, and my spot is really close to this as well. It's just one of these little coves, so you can't see the huge lake from here, but you just know that it's there. This campground was so well maintained. Look at the little rake marks and stuff, right? Like everything was all smooth. This place is pristine, and it was so well taken care of. You can't even believe it. I've done a lot of state parks. Very disappointed in some state parks in like Florida and Texas. But Arizona, I've been to a couple so far, and they are amazing. And I think they just devote more resources to them because there were plenty of people and plenty of activities, maintenance, cleaning, and everything going on. Anyway, I love this place. It was like $30 for the night, but the spaces were actually not as well packed in as a lot of places are, and every single space had shade. Do you know how rare that is to be out in the desert? There's the lake behind my vehicle, if you could spot it there. Anyway, you know how rare it is to have shade when you're out kind of in the arid and desert areas? It's amazing. Every single spot had shade. This is one of my favorite spots. I sat under this tree. I'm sitting at a picnic bench, and I was filming this tree. Okay, number one, I wish there was smell-o-vision again, because there were flowers on this tree and the smell, it was glorious. The smell was amazing. But there was so much life in this tree. There were butterflies and bees and other insects. And then the birds came up and they were trying to, I think, kind of eat some of the insects, but they weren't very successful. But there was so much life teeming in this tree. And so I took so much video of it, but you can't really see it in the video. But I wasn't really thinking that when I was shooting it. Anyway, this place was glorious. I was like, okay, I left the coast of California. I was sad about leaving the beach, and I came to this place and I was like, yay, just one more step, one more oasis in the desert, just this place where I could put my feet in the sand one more stinking time, because you guys know how much I love it. And it probably wouldn't be a destination video of mine if I didn't show you maybe the sunset, which wasn't that spectacular. I mean, obviously, but at least it was there. It always amazes me too how pictures of the moon never turn out. Like, that moon was so glorious, but didn't turn out very well. That's okay. So I had one glorious night at the campground, and then I was driving this is actually Lake Havasu City. So this is the big incorporated part. This is the city on the east side, on the right side. And this is you as you're driving in. Again, all these little coves and all this water and all this lakefront property stuff. It was fantastic. And just as you're driving through, you're just part of it all. Also, I'm a girl from the Midwest, and I was driving through here like late November. And so it's so funny to me to be in a climate where there's like no trees around, there's no cold weather, and yet you're in the holidays and even getting close to Christmas. So I pulled up at this one lookout where they had a lighthouse. This is right off the side of the road. And then these things were pulling up. Look at these. I don't know if they're gliders or planes or like a combination of each one, but they were the coolest thing. So I was like, what are the chances I'm just going to drive right up? And then I heard the sound, and then turned around and got this thing on camera. It was fantastic. And it just made me smile and giggle. It was so different from any little plane or glider I've ever seen. Here comes another one. I try to get a closer up video. Look at that. Look at the shape of it. It's like this little car that could be in a cartoon or something. You know what I mean? And the propellers in the back. And there's like one or two people in each one of them. And it's almost like a miniature. It was really a cool experience. And I thought, what great timing I have. And I thought again about, just being in the flow and how serendipity just lets you know. It's like, yes, you're in the flow. You're at the right place at the right time. This is just confirmation. Look at this coolness you get to see now. And I've just never seen anything like it. I thought it was so much fun. Another little fun fact about Lake Havasu City is they have all these miniature lighthouses. And so here you'll see one that was at the place I was at where I was watching the gliders. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. But they have these replicas of famous or big lighthouses, and they're 30 or 40 or even 25% scale. So they're much smaller than the originals, but they are all around town, and I really enjoyed them. You'll see in the next video, you might see a couple more of them. But I just really thought they were cool. And this is just somewhere I pulled off the side of the road. Like, there was no big sign or tourist attraction or anything. I was just driving down the road and saw this area to come off, and I thought maybe I could take a picture of the lake or whatever, which of course I did, and it was gorgeous. So I was just happy to have this place to come to after my time at the beach so that I could stay close to a little bit of water. Because, I love the high desert. I love the desert. That Utah, Arizona stuff. I love the red sandstone, Navajo sandstone as well, and all that. But there's something about the water. It just keeps me coming back for more. So you made it to the end of a video. And if you let me know in the comments, I will give you your medal. Sending you so much love right now. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll catch you next time. Okay, I'm just going to do a little extra talking here, a little extra bonus time, and I want to share a little tip. I wish I had known to avoid Needles, California. I think it's right on I-40, but I was coming down to Lake Havasu, and as I look at my map, Needles looked like the perfect place to stop, but it just wasn't. The gas was over $1 more expensive than it was anywhere else, and it was basically like a ghost town. It was one of the towns I think that Route 66 used to go through, and then the other highway came through, and then they were cut off or whatever. But it's a dead town, and it's kind of scary. And I'm not even exaggerating or just even being a drama queen here, that it just had really bad energy. And I wish someone had told me to kind of stay away from it if you can. Get your gas before then or after then, but skip it if you can. So that's just a little heads up. Sending love. I appreciate you. Bye for now.